right, so someone in the chat room said, if you stop streaming, watch the tournaments disappear. That's not what I'm saying. I never said to stop streaming. I said before, streaming is a train that cannot be stopped. It's already loose. It's off the rails. That's it. We've gone too far.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if the streaming never happened in the first place, the community would be richer for it. Now, Cheech Wizard says there's 1,000 people at EVO that wouldn't have happened without streams or Street Fighter 4. I kind of disagree, because, like I said, you're talking about without Street Fighter 4. I'm not going to disagree with that, because, like I said, 2009 to 10 years before that, the spike in participation in fighting games, not just fighting games, the spike in participation of gaming in general means that, okay, if you want, means that generally there are more people playing video games. So now new fighting games are coming out. People have been waiting 20 years for a good Street Fighter again.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter that they're tournament players. These people do not watch streams. They don't care. It's just that there are more people playing video games, therefore there are more people playing fighting games.
Exactly. It's a really interesting way to look at it. And to be honest, like with the EVO, I think EVO could potentially been that big anyway, because EVO's always been like
even before streams, EVO was the major event. And you know how they were doing
just
it?
The name.
They were doing it through DVDs.
Oh yeah.
DVDs were enough.
I remember that. I bought
people recorded matches, they uploaded them online after the fact.
Yeah.
EVO never needed streams to be big.
And the battle continues. Fight!
See, now people are comparing this to the NFL. No, it's not the same thing, because NFL is a team game. You're not worried, football is a team game. You're not worried about participation numbers. You're not saying, oh, there aren't enough players in NFL.
Exactly.
That's not the issue. In fighting games, the issue is there aren't enough people playing the games. That's not going to be an issue with NFL because they're sports.
Exactly.
They've got real
never
money.
Gonna die.
It's never going to die. People want to make that money. They want to be sports stars.
I just wish like video games could be accepted in general. Like esports could be like
which is why I'm a big advocate for esports. The kind of stuff you see where the NFL, where people want to be stars, that happens in esports. That doesn't happen in FGC.
Yeah.
Basically, there's like 4 people that people know outside of the FGC. People know Daigo.
Yep.
They don't know Justin. I'm talking about outside of the FGC.
Yeah.
Well, you know, some know Justin Wong.
Yeah.
So, Daigo and Justin. Can you name me another player in the fighting game community that people outside the fighting game community would recognize the name? Nobody.
No.
So that's 2.
Yep.
I couldn't even come up with 4. People outside the FGC only know Aris because of Kotaku. He doesn't count. They don't know him as a fighting game player. People outside the FGC maybe know Gutex, but that's as a show host, not as a fighting game player. Same thing with Mike Ross. And Super Shadow Star, that is precisely my point. Fighting games are niche. Fighting games are niche because the fighting game community does not want the game to be anything more than niche.
Yeah.
If you want to be more than niche, become esports. Would you consider StarCraft niche? I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't consider League of Legends niche. I wouldn't consider any of those popular games niche.
He said yipes. Is that people around the block know him? I don't know about. I'll be back.
Jeff Phoenix, again, thank you for making my point. The FGC is niche because no fighting game has StarCraft or League of Legends numbers. Because the community is not supporting their own games.
Jimmy wins. Let's get started. Fight!
Cheech Wizard, I disagree. You just said one of the greatest things about the FGC is the fact that it's grassroots. I completely disagree with that. You don't have to be grassroots and not be esports. They are not mutually exclusive. Just because a game, StarCraft is esports, doesn't mean people can't host their own StarCraft tournaments. Look at local battles in Fort Lee, New Jersey. They host StarCraft tournaments, and they're really popular. They charge $200 a team. Or League of Legends, same thing. Charge $200. I'm sorry, like $100 a player for StarCraft, $200 a team in League of Legends. They can do that. They're not esports. They're grassroots. You don't have to be mutually exclusive. What I'm saying that Cheech Wizard is one of the problems with the FGC is that they've been very xenophobic about esports. They're so afraid that if they embrace esports, the grassroots will disappear. And that has not happened in the history of video games, so I don't know what they're talking about. Kaplow, that is another one of my points. The fighting game community actively goes out of its way to discourage new players. They don't want new players. Oh, and is it too much to ask for people to take a shower before showing up for a tournament?
I'm sorry. Let me put it this way.
I'm sorry that esports asks you to take a shower before showing up.
If you don't take a shower
thing.
before a tournament, you should be physically removed from the event.
Actually, that's in one of the rules at my Jacksonville tournaments.
Well, it's also in your house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, take a fucking shower if you're going to somebody's house. All right, we're going to switch to Marvel.
Yay.